If the world knows what lays ahead for humanity, many will take heed, especially believers. Before we dive in, folks, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? It helps us feel a little more connected, even from different corners of the world. And if this video touches you, please give it a like. It helps spread the message to others who might need to hear this powerful testimony. I also invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this near-death experience? Let's create a space for honest and respectful conversations where we can grow and learn together. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on more life-changing stories like this one. Now, sit back and be blessed as you listen. My name is Phenomena, and what I'm about to share with you is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. It happened on October 22nd, 2024, and I think you should know about it because it's really important. I'm telling you this story because I care about you and the entire world. I hope you'll listen with an open heart, and maybe you can tell me what you think about it afterwards. Sometimes the most amazing experiences are the ones that seem impossible, but are actually true. I was in the kitchen making breakfast for Mom and me. You know how I love making scrambled eggs in the morning? Well, I was cracking eggs into a bowl and humming one of those songs that get stuck in your head. Everything was normal and peaceful. But then, suddenly, something scary happened. It felt like someone grabbed my heart really tight. The pain was so strong that it went all the way down my arm like lightning. I dropped the egg I was holding, and it splattered all over the kitchen floor. The yellow part spread out like a little sun that had broken into pieces. I tried to call for Mom, but my voice came out really quiet. The pain was so big that it made everything else disappear. I wanted to walk to the living room where Mom was watching the morning news, but my legs felt like jelly. I fell down hard on the kitchen floor, and my knees made a loud sound when they hit. Then something really scary happened. My heart stopped beating. Not just beating differently, but completely stopped, like someone had turned off a light switch inside my chest. The last thing I saw with my regular eyes was the kitchen ceiling. It was white with a little crack that looked like a river on a map. Then everything went dark. But here's where the amazing part starts. Even though everything went dark, I didn't stay in the darkness. Suddenly, I was floating up above my own body. I could see myself lying on the kitchen floor, and my face was starting to turn blue. The eggs I had been making were still sitting in the bowl on the counter, but now they seemed so unimportant, like toys from a game I used to play when I was little. I heard Mom's footsteps running into the kitchen. When she saw me, she screamed so loud and so sadly that it hurt my heart, even though I was floating above everything. She cried out my name desperately, begging me to wake up. She got down on her knees next to my body and started pushing on my chest like they do in movies and on TV shows. But I could see it wasn't working. My body just lay there like an empty house. Mom called 911 with shaking hands, telling them frantically that her daughter wasn't breathing and pleading for them to come quickly. Her voice was breaking into pieces, and each piece felt like it was cutting my heart. Even though my heart had stopped beating, I really wanted to tell her I was okay, that I was right there above her watching, but she couldn't see me or hear me. All she could see was my body getting colder on the kitchen floor. The ambulance people came really fast, but to me, time felt weird, like everything was moving in slow motion. They worked on my body with machines and medicine, trying to shock my heart back to life. But I was already traveling somewhere else, somewhere amazing. A beautiful light appeared. At first it was soft and gentle, then it got brighter than the sun, but somehow it didn't hurt my eyes at all. It was pulling me away from Mom's tears, away from the people trying to save my life, away from everything I had ever known. As I moved toward the light, I felt the most incredible peace wash over me like warm, gentle water. All the worry, all the fear, all the little hurts from my life just melted away completely. I felt like I was going home to a place I had never been to before, but somehow I remembered it. The light brought me to the most beautiful place you could ever imagine. It didn't have walls or a ceiling or a floor like our house does. It was just endless beauty that seemed to be alive and breathing. There were colors there that don't exist on Earth, colors so beautiful and rich that they seemed to have their own music playing. I was standing there, though standing felt different, like floating and walking at the same time, and looking around in complete wonder. Everything was glowing with soft, warm light, but it wasn't coming from a sun in the sky. The light was coming from the air itself, like the air was made of gentle starlight. Then I felt something amazing before I even saw it. Love, pure, perfect love, came rushing toward me like a river made of light. That it was love that knew every secret in my heart, every mistake I had ever made, every good thing I had ever tried to do. It was love that saw all of it and still wanted me there. When I turned around, Jesus was walking toward me. He didn't look like the pictures in Sunday school books or the paintings you see in church. He didn't have long brown hair or a beard or those long robes. He looked young and strong, and his skin seemed to hold starlight inside it. His eyes looked like they held the whole universe, and his smile was so full of joy that it made me laugh out loud, even though I was crying happy. Tears at the same time. He spoke my name, and his voice was like beautiful music and gentle thunder and whispered prayers all mixed together. When he said my name, I felt like I was hearing it for the very first time, like it had been created just for this special moment. I whispered his name back, though I already knew who he was. Every part of me recognized him like a compass always knows which way is north. He opened his arms wide, and I ran to him like a little kid running to their dad after being away for a long time. When he hugged me, I felt completely safe for the first time in my entire life. All the loneliness, all the fear, all the sadness I had been carrying around just disappeared completely. He told me softly that I had something really important to do, placing his hand on my head like a blessing. But first, he revealed that he needed to show me what was going to happen in the future. I looked up at his face, and his eyes were full of both love and sadness. I asked him what he meant by showing me the future. Instead of answering with words, he took my hand, and suddenly we were somewhere else. We were standing on a hill that wasn't quite a regular hill. It was more like a place where you could see everything at once. Below us was the entire earth, but not like looking at a map or a picture. It was alive and breathing and full of people going about their daily lives, just like I had been doing when I died. He told me quietly to watch. As I watched, I saw 3 amazing things that would happen, 3 special signs that would come before the end of everything as we know it. First, I heard a sound unlike anything on earth. It started really low, like the deepest note on a huge church organ. Then it grew higher and richer until it filled every corner of the sky. Jesus explained to me that this sound would last for 7 minutes. He revealed that every single person on earth would hear it, no matter where they were or what they were doing. It would make traffic stop, make conversations stop, even make wars stop. For 7 minutes, the whole world would be listening. I watched as people everywhere looked up at the sky with wonder and fear. Some fell down on their knees, others covered their ears, but everyone heard it, and everyone knew it was coming from somewhere beyond our world. He continued, describing it as being like a phone call, a call to come home, to turn away from the things that hurt them and others, to remember who they really are. He revealed that some people would listen to the call, others would try to explain it away as storms or earthquakes or airplanes, but everyone would have a choice to make. The sound was beautiful and scary at the same time, like angels singing, but also like mothers crying. It made me want to run toward it and hide from it all at once. Then came the lights. For 3 nights, the sky filled with colors that danced like the northern lights, but much brighter and more alive. They moved across the heavens like someone was writing in a language that everyone could understand in their hearts, even if their minds couldn't figure out what it meant. Jesus told me that the first night, people would call it beautiful. The second night, they would call it strange. The third night, they would call it scary. I watched people come out of their houses to stare at the sky. Kids pointed and laughed with excitement. Adults took pictures with their phones. Scientists on the news tried to explain what was happening, but deep down, everyone knew this wasn't normal. The lights formed shapes, sometimes like hands reaching down from heaven, sometimes like eyes watching over everyone, sometimes like words written in fire across the darkness. They were gentle but persistent, like someone knocking on a door and waiting patiently for it to be opened. The third sign was the hardest to understand because it was the absence of something rather than something happening. It was silence. For 1 whole hour, everything on earth went completely quiet. Not just people, everything. Birds stopped singing. Cars stopped running. Even the wind stopped blowing. The whole world held its breath. Jesus revealed to me that in that silence, everyone would hear their own heart beating. They would hear their own thoughts with perfect clarity. They would understand exactly who they are and what they've done with their lives. For many people, It would be the first time they've ever been truly alone with themselves. I watched as people sat in the middle of busy streets that had gone completely silent, with tears running down their faces. Some cried from joy, finally hearing God's voice that they had been searching for all their lives. Others cried from sadness, realizing how far they had walked away from love. He then told me that after these 3 signs, there would be darkness. He explained that it wouldn't be as punishment, but like when you restart a computer that's gotten confused and needs to be fixed. The world needs to remember how to be still, how to be quiet, how to listen to the important things. I looked at him with questions in my eyes, wondering how long the darkness would last. He answered that it would be 3 days, long enough for hearts to change, for people to find each other in the dark, for families to remember what really matters. He revealed that when the light comes back, everything would be different. Suddenly, we were back in that place of endless light and beauty. Jesus turned to me with eyes full of love and urgency. He told me that I had to go back, that I had to tell people what I had seen. I responded with confusion about going back, telling him that I wanted to stay there with him because it was so beautiful, so peaceful. He acknowledged my feelings gently, assuring me that someday I would come back and stay forever. But he explained that right now, people needed to hear this message. They needed to know what was coming so they could get their hearts ready. Before I could say anything else, he was walking away from me, getting smaller and farther away with each step. I called out desperately, asking what would happen if people didn't believe me, if they thought I was making it up. He turned back one last time, and his smile was sad but determined. He told me that some people would believe, and that would be all that was needed. He instructed me to tell them to prepare their hearts, not their closets. To tell them to forgive, not to be afraid. To tell them that love wins in the end. Then I was falling through space and time. I woke up in a hospital bed with tubes in my arms and machines beeping all around me. Mom was asleep in a chair beside my bed, her face red and puffy from crying. When I moved a little bit, she woke up immediately. She exclaimed with joy that I was awake, grabbing my hand and squeezing it so tight it almost hurt, but I didn't mind at all. She told me that the doctors had said I was gone for almost 20 minutes. My heart had stopped, and they couldn't get it started again.